All right, guys, in today's episode of Let's Assess Podcast, we are going to be diving into build season. Yes, it is August, but for those of us that are planning big builds, we need to get our minds ready and start ordering parts because some of them are on back order. You can only get right now. So let's jump right into it.
Look, I don't want to talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft.
All right, guys, welcome back to yet another episode of Let's Assess Podcast. Today it's me and Adj. It looks a little bit different, and we're trying something out to try to kind of pivot the podcast. I know we've been gone for a while, but we're going to test this kind of remote podcasting out for a while, and then our goal is to jump on with guests and basically be able to bring people on the podcast to talk about life and snowmobiling and everything. So let's talk a little bit about the summer, Adj. It's been a really busy one. It's flown by, but we've had some fun and we made a fair amount of content.
Yeah, no, it's been a good summer. Like you said, it's flown by. I can't believe it's August already. And I feel like August is going to be gone, and we're going to be sitting at haydays in no time, and then roll right into hunting season. So it's been really good. I mean, the last couple podcasts that we did, we said that we were going to do a lot of video content, and we really honed in on that. We've really trying to push that on the other Cook Bros channel. So if you haven't checked out the videos we did this summer, definitely go check out that. All caps Cook Bros. It's our new channel on YouTube. Check that out. But yeah, it's been, just kind of a crazy summer. And I want to say I've been busy, but I don't know what we've accomplished. Like we've been a week doing something, but yet, now we're finally like, okay, it's time to get the podcast back rolling. We can't put it off anymore. So it's definitely
I miss doing the podcast.
Yeah, it's funny how, I don't know, we catch up still, but we miss out on this part of the catching up, I feel like. And the love for snowmobiling is the core of our relationship, and this is where we get a really deep dive that it feels like.
Yeah. So going real quick onto this summer, we've had some exciting things happen. For those of you who haven't been keeping up on the Cook Bros channel, I'll put a link in the description. We got Surons, which has been super fun. And then we have been doing some stuff with old cheap cars, jumping them and stuff like that. And the news of the summer for me is a totaled Pro R Razor. So, it's been a good summer other than that, but thankfully I have insurance, so I don't know what I'm going to do now, side-by-side wise, but I need some time to think on that.
Yeah, luckily everybody was okay in the incident, but it was definitely I'm going to say a freak thing that happened, but a ball broke and you just went whoop, and that was it.
Yep, I couldn't believe it was totaled, honestly, because, it didn't seem that bad, but I guess it was that bad. So,
it wasn't, as far as like rollovers go and things like that, it wasn't the worst side-by-side crash I've ever seen for sure, but it did the damage to the buggy, that's for sure. It tweaked some stuff.
Yep. Dude, these glasses are killing me. I'm gonna put these on. Anyway, so,
looky there. Classy fella.
So basically what we were talking about at the beginning of this, we want to talk about it because for those of us who are building big builds, like it sounds like you might, Adj, and we'll jump into that, but it, crazy enough, kind of has to start now. It kind of has to start now because some of these parts, when you have smaller companies making them and stuff like that, it's all handmade parts and they can only build so many. And so if you wait until January to do your sled build, you just can't get your hands on them. And I know you and Marcus kind of had that with some of the parts you wanted to put on your sled last year, carbon-wise, with the hoods and stuff. And so
it really seems like
kind of – what was that?
Seems like it really seems like the carbon is where the hang-up's at, you know?
Yeah.
It's all handmade, it's all hand developed. So, these guys that are doing it, and I mean, bless their souls, it's incredible what they're doing, but they can only put out so much volume, right? It's not like they can punch it in a CNC machine and let it just lay the down or do whatever. So it's awesome, but yeah, it's kind of forced our hand and their hand of if the people want it, we're having to order it now, in the middle of summer or early summer to get this stuff in time for build season or even to have it in the wintertime.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of crazy, but it's like you said. I mean, I don't know whether carbon fiber cannot be manufactured at a big scale like that, or if it's just the industry's not big enough and the money is too big of an investment for these people to do it. But yeah, it's pretty cool how they're hand making all this carbon stuff, carbon pursuits, zero hoods, what's the carbon sled, all those. Yep. So okay, here's what I want to do, Aj. I want you to talk about what you're thinking for this year, and and then I'll kind of quiz you on it because I'm curious, and then I'll tell you what I'm thinking, and then if you're curious, you can quiz me, or if you're not curious, you can just tell me to shut up.
Okay, so I am planning right now, and the wife can't get mad at me for saying this, but two builds for this winter.
Two?
Um, I ride a sled a ton through the winter. Like I put 2,000 miles on that ski last year alone, and I don't know how many other miles on other sleds and stuff. So for my main sled, it'll be a Gen 5 Ski-Doo turbo of some sort. I think that sled will probably be built pretty much identical to what my sled last year was. Um, which I'm going to say, oh, it was just a light build, when really for a lot of people it was, probably a pretty big build, honestly. But just a few little trinkets here and there, a wrap, etc. So, it'll get a titanium can on it. Definitely want to do the carbon pursuit, like skid plate and brake rotor protectors on it. And then backwoods bumpers, front and back. And then a wrap and RSI handlebars. And then probably pretty well leave that one like that. Didn't run a clutch kit last year. Didn't never really got out of the RPM range. Did a couple clicker adjustments and thing ran good. So for that,
So is this one kind of more like a functional day-to-day build for you?
yeah. So this one is going to be my trustworthy go-to sled. I mean, deep days since it's the turbo, and just all around, like that's the grind sled, right? Like I'm gonna pack the miles on it again and sell it in the spring, or it'll
Turbo 155 or
Turbo
four?
154. Yep. I don't know what it's gonna be though. I don't know if it's gonna be a 26. I don't know if it's gonna be a 25. Um, it might be an expert. It might be an X. I truly don't know which way I'm gonna go there. When that time comes, when Ski-Doo decides to put a little bit of offers on the table come late December, January, that's when that sled's going to get bought. So I'm going to push it pretty late. They've trained the consumer to not go pay an 8% interest rate right now. And maybe you can get 0% in January and a 4-year warranty and yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to play that card this year on that sled. I'm going to push it pretty late and see what I can get out of it. And then the second
Dude, I'm
sled,
really interested what you're going to say on your second sled, because I thought that was the sled that you were going to do stuff to. You rat.
yeah, I had to play a little bit on you there, just a little trick.
Uh-oh.
My wife wants a new sled, so that's where I got the sign off on this, right? She really liked riding the Gen 5 Ski-Doo 850 last year for the 5 seconds she rode it.
NA.
So NA. So she really liked that. So she kind of wants one of those for her to ride. And I said, okay, you don't ride but a handful of times a year. It's hard for me to justify having as many snowmobiles as we have, whether if it's in the fleet or if it's my backup sled maybe. So what can we do to make this, work smarter and better for us financially? And she's cool with
I love
sled.
I can't believe it.
And she's a little girl, so little woman, and a lightweight sled might treat her really well. And I really want to build a lightweight NA sled and just see what it's capable of. It will not be a sled that I ride a ton. It will not be a sled that I want to pack a ton of miles on. So it won't be my everyday sled. But I think this thing's going to be a weapon, and it's going to be really, really fun to have a lightweight Ski-Doo. I know Carl Kuster's made one, or built one, but I want to have one down here for us to play around on and, not compete with a Chris Brandt level build in any way, but I want to see what we can do with the Ski-Doo and potentially see how much weight we can shave there easily and make it kind of a fun, cool little thing for us to make content with, and see how much money I can dive into this poor little sled.
Oh my gosh. So you say lightweight, what extent are we talking lightweight here?
So there's a few things I need to reach out to Frank at Carbon Pursuit and talk with him about what he's got coming out, what his plans are. We've partnered with Frank and really like working with him and using his products. It seems like Frank has really been working on some little small intricate pieces. We do a little bit of testing for him as well. So you heard me mention something I'll put on my turbo, and that's the brake rotor and chain case protectors. That's something new that we tested last winter for him. They performed really well. So I'll use his, I'm going to call them trinkets. So he's going to, whatever stuff he has for the Ski-Doo, I plan on having on it. And then I want to do a zero hood on it. So that should shave quite a few pounds there. I want to do a titanium can. I've looked at titanium pipes. It looks a little difficult to get those. I found a guy in Russia that ships them. Seems really sketchy, but
Yeah.
we'll see how sketchy I want to get here this summer on ordering stuff like that. But I want to do a carbon skid. None of us have any experience with carbon skid. Marcus is probably listening to this right now, and he's like, "Well, I already have mine." But
Yeah.
that's the thing. I want to run a carbon skid in this sled. That should lighten it up, 25 pounds or something. It sounds like. So,
Dude, I'm just so curious to see. It's like I talked to you about it. It's like I wonder how strong these carbon sled skids are. I mean, I would guess that they couldn't be as strong as like an Ice Age billet aluminum rail setup, but I don't know, maybe they are. They're definitely lighter.
I have no clue what the strength is of it. Obviously, I'm putting a lot of money into this snowmobile, so that's kind of why I want to do it on this sled and not my turbo that gets pounded into the ground, because I don't want to just absolutely destroy it and be pissed right away. This sled's not going to get rode unless the snow conditions are perfect. This sled's not going to get rode unless it's a good day for it. So I think this will be a good test for it. If this winter goes well, though, I wouldn't be surprised if one ends up under my turbo for the next year, because I think it's going to be more durable than we think. I think carbon gets, like, you feel it and you're like, wow, this is fragile, right? But I think it holds up really well. So
Yeah.
I think we're going to be impressed with it, but that's why I think this will be a perfect sled for it to be tested on for us. We just don't have a lot of experience in it. We don't know anybody has a lot of experience with them. So this is kind of our opportunity to feel it out, and it's not one of our primary sleds, that we need, and see what it does.
Why? Have you ever thought about making that a 146?
I think I want to go with the 154 for this sled. I really like
because your wife.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna have to be her sled to get around, so I think the 154 will help her. After riding that 154 NA that we had last year, really enjoyed the snortiness of it. It was playful enough that I think I can make it do, the things I really wanted to do with a lighter rear end. So knowing I'm lighting that rear end, that's the Ski-Doo downfall a little bit, is it's pretty heavy back there. So I think if we can lighten that up and make it kind of pop a little more, that might be, kind of the answer to the NA world of that Ski-Doo chassis.
Makes sense.
I definitely don't know what I'm going to do performance-wise. Like, it will get a titanium can for sure. That last winter absolutely sold me running those. It'll definitely get a clutch kit. I think that wakes the NAs up a ton. But I don't know. There's not a lot of stuff on the market for the Ski-Doos unless you want to go like 960 big bore or something like that.
You should.
I wouldn't say that I would do a big bore next year, but this is a sled I want to keep around for a couple years. So the wife might need a big bore the next year. You never know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, you're gonna go like, what is Ski-Doo's 2 3/4 lug or 2 whatever?
It'll be a 3-inch.
Or 3-inch, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be the 3-inch powder claw. As far as the chassis though, it's probably going to be the in-season Summit Adrenaline with Edge package. I don't think, because since I'm doing so much to it, I mean, and it'll end up with, because with the carbon skid you have to have Fox rear shocks. So I'll do a set of Fox Airs on the front to match that.
Gotcha.
Since I'm upgrading the suspension, I don't see the major benefit in getting like a Summit X or getting a Expert or anything like that. I definitely don't want a 32-inch front end for this sled since my wife will be riding it. So I'm going to go probably that Summit Adrenaline with Edge package, unless there's a good deal on a Summit X maybe, or, an Expert with a 34-inch.
Gotcha. Well, that's not what I thought. I thought you were going to do that to a turbo.
I think it'd be a lot of fun to do to a turbo. I really do. But, yeah, I got to rely upon that sled so much in the wintertime. And, me and you have talked to that at nausea, that in my situation, I need a reliable sled and a backup sled that can jump in when need be. If, last winter I got lucky, I didn't need that. But you bend an A-arm or anything like that, you need a sled to jump in there. So
yeah, makes sense.
And there's definitely a few other little things that I'd like to throw on that NA sled, but we'll just see where it goes. I've seen and heard some front carbon A-arms potentially on the market these days, so we'll have to see. I think I want to see those real world, because this is a sled I want to ride and enjoy and not just tear something off, and I haven't heard a lot of great from the testing of those yet. So, and that's not a knock on them, and maybe I'm hoping since they're on the market now they got all that ironed out, but I'm definitely going to give it into the winter and see how that goes.
Yeah, dude, I kind of have like a mixed thing on that. It's like the light, I don't know. In my head, it's like it would be so fun to have a lightweight sled like that's or a lightweight NA.
Yep.
But the thing is for me, it's like if I'm going to put all the money into it, it's like I know I would ride a turbo more.
Yeah.
And so I would want it to be on that sled versus the NA. But then the other part of me is like, well, it's just going to make that NA that much more fun because you're going to have, your power to weight ratio is going to be better, and it's going to feel lighter without a turbo. It's going to feel way lighter with changing all the stuff that you just talked about. And so it's kind of a mixed thing for me. I mean, and my other thing is I was thinking about doing a carbon skid. I don't know how tough they are. I'm sure they're pretty dang tough if a lot of these guys are running them and they're not breaking them every single day. But the thing to me is it's like I almost, if I was going to do a carbon skid, I'd be really caught up on what track length I'd want to do it on, because to me, it's like it would be so cool to have like a Brant style sled that's like not a jumping and I'm not saying you can't jump on them. I'm just saying like it's geared more to deep snow and like technical riding. I feel like that's where you really get more bang out of your buck with an NA.
Yeah.
But I feel like, what am I trying to say? It's like I think if I was going for use, I would get it in a 155.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I love the 155 all the time. Like it proved last year in Alpine, it was like, this is really the perfect setup. It's not the best at anything, but it's good at everything. We got into deep snow. It did perfectly fine. It got into, hard pack. It's okay. Where the 165, 325 is a lot in hard pack. It's a lot of traction with an intercooled boost. And then jumping, it works great. It works great at re-entries. It floats well. I mean, it is really the perfect track. But it's just like on those really deep days, it would be nice to have like which we haven't been getting, to be honest. And that's why there's not a 165 under my blue and orange sled now. It's a 155. But it's those deep days to me where it's like you have the long track, you have the power, you add that to like the lightweight portion of things, and you're just like, this is working so well. Like this is a complete game changer. Hopping on the same thing that's not lightweight, that's on a 155 or especially a 146 versus a lightweight 165, it just can't do it. It can't do the things as easily as a 165, intercooled boost that's lightweight.
You know what the problem is when we go to this length of a build is this would be extremely confusing for anybody, but for me and you, it's like the content that we make, right? We're taking our sled and you have this huge audience, and now you're necking it down to just a pin needle, right? And that's what we're doing with this snowmobile, is you're building it so specifically for one task, right? And it's like you're building a lightweight, high power, absolute monster snowmobile to be a weapon in the trees or shoot climb, or you start, the more you build it, the more there's a path you start taking it down, right? Like your 146 build, that thing is absolutely perfect to bash a meadow and a hill at a 1% incline, and you can have a great time, right?
Yeah. Or hard snow.
Or hard snow, right? So, but it's that, like, it narrows that build down. Now, if you want to do like a 165 lightweight Chris Brandt build, then it's like, well, that's not really, you don't want to go abuse that setup on, because it's going to overheat with the track. It's going to overheat the sled. It's going to, probably be hard on the carbon fiber skid frame, etc. on those days. So you're only going to take it out on the best snow days then. So then you have that 165 build that's for this perfect snow day. You got your 146 build that's for the harder snow days, less snow days maybe. And you have the 155 that sits there in the middle that can do both, but just not as good as the other.
Either way. And in all honesty, though, if you really think about it, if you are just looking for the most general snowmobile, like that is not great at it, I mean, dude, we always get into these talks, and I'm like thinking, it's like, dude, right out of the crate, these things, hardly anyone on the planet can ride these things to the sled's ability. But we're talking builds here, so everything's in comparison to what we're talking about. But it's like, really, if you want an all-around great snowmobile, then take it out of the crate and put suspension on it and leave it. It's almost like when you get into like a really intense build, if you really, really think about it, the stuff you're changing is to go one way or another. Like, for example, like for those of you who are listening that everyone follows Kosterky. Like, for example, okay, he built a purpose-built, Vogue-tuned, long-track sled to go do hill climbs and shoots, right? Yeah. That was very purpose-built for that. Okay, that was not his big jump sled. That was his climb sled. And you never saw it in any content other than that. Or I didn't, at least. And so it's like, you have to think when you're doing a build, it's like so many people, like, on Instagram, hey man, what do you think I should do to my sled? I'm like, I don't know. It kind of depends on your riding style, honestly, because I don't know what you do. I don't know like what kind of terrain you ride, whatever. And if you're, why should I say intercool it, put Fox shocks on it, make it lightweight if the dude's a trail rider? Or, dude, you got to go 146. It's so fun. And the dude's like climb shoots. Why would, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's really based on what you do. And you're right. When you start modding a sled out, unless you're at a 155, just basic build, you're really kind of picking direction that you want to go with the snowmobile. But when you really think about it, that's why you're building the snowmobile in the first place.
Correct. And I think we definitely get skewed. And these podcasts that we're going to do this fall for builds and stuff and the build videos, it's very skewed because we love the building aspect. We love the cool aspect of building something cool. We like that whole aspect of the build process, right? It's not just the like practicality of what we're doing. It's not the money about what we're doing. It's literally we enjoy this process as much as we do riding it. And this gives us something to do from now until the snow flies, and then the snow flies, and then we can go ride it and test it and etc., right? So it just lengthens our snowmobile season for us, and we're fortunate enough to do that. But by no means is what we do anything anybody needs, or like even an example of what you should do, right? And it just, you hit the nail on the head. It's so hard when somebody asks, well, what should I do? And it's like, well, you can never go wrong with a clutch kit and a can, right? Like, you can never go wrong with those things. But as far as anything else, it depends upon what you do and what you enjoy doing, and then maybe even more so, what does your group do? Like, I'm going to build a lightweight NA sled that's probably going to be a tree weapon, right? Now, I know when I go ride with you and Brad that I probably should not take that snowmobile because it's not going to do what it's built to do with you guys, because that's not something you enjoy doing. So I think it's important to remember what your group does and how you build your snowmobile as well. If you're coming from the Midwest and you're riding with a group that goes and finds meadows, then maybe a 146 turbo is the bee's knees, because you can have a ton of fun with that sled in that area. But if you're with a bunch of rowdy tree riders, then maybe this is the route you want to go. Maybe it
was the same thing like with me. We rode, and the winter was hellaciously deep that year. Riding trees, it's like, this 46 or 155 intercooled turbo is not it, and that's why I went to a 165. And it made everything a lot easier and a lot more fun. Could build speed faster, blah blah blah. But the thing is, like, dude, I'm 100% set. If November comes around and it is just puking snow like it was a couple years ago, and it's deep every single day, I will be back on a 165, 100%. Like, not a doubt in my mind. Just track swap it
together.
What did you say?
We'll be gluing that track back together to get her.
Yeah. Well, dude, the sad part is I bought a new track.
Yeah, oh, that's true. You have a brand new 165, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
But yeah, if it was stupid deep, I would probably try to get a carbon skid for a 65.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm kind of thinking,
Okay.
which I haven't made up my mind. The totaled razor and trying to figure out what I'm going to do there has been taking up more of my time and hunting and 90 hours a week of work. But anyway, okay, here's what I'm thinking. Two routes that I might go. I guess three. One route is I do absolutely nothing because I already have something that I can ride every day that works extremely well and is exactly how I like it. The second thing is to sell the blue and orange sled and buy a new 155 325 and do probably a full build on it. Or sell that sled, buy a 155, do a build on that, and get a 146 9R. Or, I guess there's another options. Or just add a 9R 146 to the fleet. And here's what I would probably do. I would probably put, with Powderbound Adventures' help, sorry, Edge.
No, it's okay.
What I would like to do if I did that was probably put a 165 under the 146, leave the blue and orange one, and then I'd have do a lightweight, not to your extent probably, but do some lightweight parts on a 9R 146 NA, and then have my main sled is the blue and orange one because it doesn't have many miles on it, and I finally got it how I like it. But I do need to put a 325 track under that.
Yeah,
I will be doing that.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't mind that 275, but it's all ripped up.
Yeah.
Like there's lugs tearing and stuff. I can't hear you. What?
I'll buy it from you. Better shape than mine. One of mine.
Yeah. So so what I'd probably do if I went that route is 9R 146, do a skins or a carbon hood. Probably a skins hood on that, to be honest, because I have one in the garage. Put a skins hood on that, Fox shocks, and Ice Age rails probably. And then Voke has a little kit that they've worked up for 9R that Eric was saying wakes it up a lot. And that's it on that sled. Well, RSI bars, backwoods bumper, stuff like that.
Yeah. The
ECD wrap.
Don't even think about
it. It's like, well, I'll just do this, and then it's quite a bit. And then switch the 155 to a 325, so I need drivers and a new track. And then put the 165 that I already have under the 146 if the conditions were really good this year. If they weren't, then probably not do anything with the 146 and just leave it. But I like the idea of a lightweight NA build. But the thing is I just don't know how much I'd use it. I mean, maybe if I had one, I'd use it a lot, but I just can't imagine myself, like, even if the snow's remotely good, wanting to take a 9R when I could take, boost.
Boost, yeah. I foresee you getting a 9R 146 because you've talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it being like...
They're just so... I just go back to the thing, dude. They're so expensive for what they are.
Yeah, I know. Because we have many podcasts out there saying don't do it, right?
Yeah.
Especially in our elevation. But the 9R is an awesome sled, and it's nice having that light option. But I think for you, what I think it is it opens up the build opportunity for you. You're looking for something to build, and this year it'll start the build. And you just said it yourself, you're not going to put a ton of miles on this sled. So then the next year, that's when I see you doing like a lot of trick stuff to it.
Yeah, dude, my only thing is like, I feel like Polaris has to come out with something somewhat groundbreaking next year. Like, it's time. Yeah. It's like they've been changing the color scheme for, since 22. So that's 4 years now because these will be 26s. So it's like
Yep.
they got to come out with 9R boost. They got to come out with something that kind of changes the market.
I think
And
that's what
the
we're gonna
point of me saying, what was that?
I think that's what we're gonna see is the 9R boost. I don't think we're seeing a chassis change yet.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is my point is like I don't want to be stuck with three matrix chassis that I lose my rear on.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
Which
that's like the only thing.
that definitely that's a hard thing, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's God, it's so difficult, right? Because you don't want to be sitting on that. But also, it's like, what do you do? You know, your hands are
Yeah.
super tight, especially you never want to get rid of that 146 boost of yours. Um, so it's like, gosh, what do you do? You know?
That's what I'm kind of thinking about dumping the blue and orange sled this fall.
Yeah, it's not a
But I
bad
mean,
idea.
dude, that thing for me right now is like you're saying it's the bee's knees. Like it has everything that I like. It's got the light bar on the hood and the suspension set up and it really is like perfect for my standards.
Yeah,
Um
the problem
it
is it's already built.
what was that?
The only problem is it's already built.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, you're bored.
Don't, dude, see, but here's the difference between you and I is you do all your own work. I try to do all my own work and then give up and take it to you.
Yeah, that's true.
So
With the block
it's kind
height.
of I don't want to have AJ tie up another 40 hours into a build.
A couple more late nights changing some skids and tracks around.
Yeah. But dude, I don't know that I was really glad. If you recall last fall, I took my sled to um Vogue for I can't remember what I took it there for originally, but I was talking to Eric and Aiden, and Aiden twisted my arm, and it came out of the shop intercooled. And that, dude, I really do. I love the intercool setup. Like, it is so much fun. And the biggest thing that I remember thinking about at the end of last year is I really, really, really think that there could be a magical combination with Polaris guys that have Fox shocks so you can lock the rear, okay? You have intercooled so you can get after it in the deep snow, and you have a 325 that power will move very, very easily.
Yep.
Like I think that could be the ultimate do it all because with that lug and the lockout in the rear, you're going to be able to, in the deep snow, I feel like it would act like a 65. Some close, not fully, but it would be more 65. And then you have the option to soften the shock up in the back and have it party. It's nimble because it's a 155. And that's one of the things because I rode Brad's sled and his was a 155 325. The thing just moves through the snow better. But I did feel like when that snow wasn't really like dry, when it was more wet, it maybe it was just getting off an intercooled sled, but it just didn't seem to have the nuts to spin that track really well, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that is a get shit done like mod sled right there. Is a 155 325 intercooled with Fox. Like that
Yeah.
is a weapon. Like a weapon,
Yeah.
right? That might be your
So
fifth
that's
option.
what that well, that's what that 155 that I have now will be.
Well, no, because you want to dump that sled. Fifth
Well, if
option.
I dump it.
Yeah. Buy
Yeah.
Brad's because it's low miles.
Has a
And
dirty Carfax.
we know Brad is going to have to get a new sled because, you know, he just likes to for some reason. And then all you got to do is put a front bumper on that thing and it's golden.
Yeah, and a whole front end.
Yeah, all plastic now.
Yeah. Yeah, of course I'm gonna put a different hood on it anyway, so
Yeah.
yeah, dude, that I will tell you, for going out and like getting shit done, that 155 in especially when it was a 65, dude, that thing was incredible, and all the little details, like the hand warmers work, the the headlight, dude. The headlight is, oh man, I haven't had a headlight in years. Having that light bar on that sled, so nice coming out,
Yeah.
and it just was a Seco seat cover, so you're not sliding everywhere. It was just, it got to be set up exactly how I like it, you
Yeah.
know.
You finally
And it's hard. Yeah, and that's the thing, dude. It's like I was telling you. I mean, for me, um, it sometimes it takes me 2 years to get a sled where I really, really like it.
Yeah.
You know, because after that first year, I did not like that 165.
You wanted to
Like,
sell it this time last year.
yeah, yeah, but but the biggest thing is it was like, yeah, it was great, but it was what most people look at as like a 165. It's like, oh, it's not nimble. It's not, it doesn't come out of the snow as fast, all the stuff. Yeah, and then we intercooled it and all those problems were gone.
Yeah.
And then, put some other stuff on it, and I really, really like that sled. Like an Alpine, dude, that sled, I really fell in love with the 155 again. Because
Yeah.
it's like I can go pull that reentry in the trees. Remember when we were climbing up that drainage that went up to that like really, really open hill where I was droning?
Yep.
I pulled a line, dude, and I, for a fact, wouldn't have been able to on that 46. But it was so just perfect to me on that 155. Like the sled comes out of the snow real easily in a tight tree, reentry around, come up, go up the hill. I think I'm not going to make it. It was deep back in there. It was in some thick trees. It's nimble enough to easily get through the trees, and then it climbed out of it, and I thought there was no way. I thought I was stuck, and nope, just pulls right out of this thing. And I was like, dang, I forgot how much I like 55s. Obviously, it would have done it easier on a 65, but just the fun factor, like the fun factor of a 55 intercooled is way better than a 65, in my opinion.
You might not have been able to pull that line on the 165 because you would have been able to do the reentry,
Yeah, yeah.
Like, just as it feels very tight when you're that long,
Well, dude, and you know this. You haven't spent much time on a 55, but you'll know exactly, or on a 65, sorry, but you'll know exactly what I'm saying. When you are up on a 65 coming out of the snow, you get a completely different feeling than when you're on a 55 or shorter. It feels like you were, and it's because I'm not used to it, but you come way out of the snow. Like all the guys say, oh, dude, this sled feels like you're on a skyscraper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like riding
You're
a school
way
bus.
out of the snow.
Yeah. It's like riding a school bus. You are up there.
Yeah, yeah. And with the 55, going from a 65 to a 55, and especially a 65 to a 46, it feels like you're on a pit bike.
Yeah, that definitely.
You just spin that thing around.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
So I don't really know. That was kind of a very confusing thing of what my plans are. You're pretty cut and dry. I'm very 25, 25, 25, 25. I'm not 50-50.
For a total of 300.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what I'm going to do. There's definitely a chance that I'm just going to keep it that 55 and ride the track off of it this year and kind of start another build session up the following year, but I'm sure I'll probably end up buying something.
Yeah, you can't go 2 years without buying something, so you'll be all fired up this fall for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Last year was the first year I didn't buy a new sled in a long time.
Yep.
So,
oh,
Ralphie's barking. Yeah, so anything else that you want to kind of talk about?
I think that wraps it up really good. That kind of gives everybody a little insight. It should be some really cool content no matter what we do coming forward. And it's awesome to be back at the podcast. If you made it this far, thank you very much. We appreciate every single one of you guys. And we're stoked to get this thing back going and be on the lookout for the next one. It'll be coming quick.
Yeah. Yeah, for those of you that are planning on doing big builds, you might want to start thinking about it if you're doing any custom parts because it's getting to be that time.
Yep. And if you're interested in being on the podcast, maybe reach out. And, now that we got this up and rolling, we will see if we can get some people on the podcast and get some guests going.
Yep, guests, and we'll still be shooting some solo stuff. So if you haven't already, go subscribe to our other channel, Cook Bros. We're going to be doing a lot more vlog style stuff over there. If you're going to Heydays, drop it in the comments. Let us know. Like, subscribe, share to a homie. And until next time, let her eat.
See ya.